Let's go get him. It's your boy Snake Eye, Bomb First TV checking in. Salute to that notification military for dropping them bombs on that like button before we even get lit. Got him. Hey, prosecutor overruled sheriff charges Florida man in stand your ground case. I tried to tell y'all it ain't cut and dry as you thought it was. Micheal Drejka, who fatally shot Marquise McLaughlin after McLaughlin shoved him in Clearwater, Florida convenience store parking lot, has been charged with manslaughter, the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office said Monday. Consistent with the decision-making process established under Florida law in this case, the state attorney conducted his review and decided to charge Drejka with manslaughter. Drejka, 47, was arrested Monday morning and booked into the Pinellas County Jail. His bail is set at $100,000. His first court appearance is set for Tuesday afternoon. I told y'all, you can't be out there, know you strapped, trying to be a vigilante, starting stuff at your own leisure, and then when somebody attack you or when they perceive you as being the aggressor, and then you know you got your gun on you, so that's why you going around starting stuff being a vigilante in the first place. We seen it with George Zimmerman. I got the video up next. Y'all drop comments. Yes, sir.
Compared to the Trayvon Martin case, and it was once again a very controversial stand your ground case here in the state of Florida. Protests again yesterday in a Clearwater, Florida church service with Reverend Al Sharpton along with all 5 Democratic candidates for governor and the parents of Trayvon Martin on hand. About 500 people turned out demanding the shooter of Marquise McLaughlin be arrested, which the sheriff refuses to do, citing the law. This time, the entire incident is caught on video. McLaughlin and his girlfriend went to the store. She parked illegally in a handicapped spot. He went inside, and that's when 47-year-old Micheal Drejka approached her and argued about her being illegally parked. Well, that's when the unarmed McLaughlin comes out, sees what's happening, pushes Drejka to the ground, who then pulls out his legally concealed handgun and shoots. Protesters compared this, as I said, to the 2012 shooting death of Trayvon Martin by neighborhood watchman George Zimmerman, where the shooter claimed self-defense, fearing for their life under the law. The jury in that high-profile trial acquitted Zimmerman of murder, of course.
Was this a case of retribution or self-defense?
Well, you know, the way Ben said it is a good analysis of it. The sheriff had a problem with the stand your ground law because the sheriff could, in fact, be held liable if he arrests without good reason. So to answer the question, when you look at that tape, when you look closely at it, Mr. McLaughlin I disagree with Ben. McLaughlin was the initial aggressor in that he started the physical confrontation. Having said that, he also backed off after that. And I don't think that the shooter at that point gets to shoot, as you say, and as I said, in retribution. I have a tough time believing that even though he was on the ground, that he was in reasonable fear of imminent great bodily injury. Everything else aside, we do need to look at it from Drejka's perspective. Are you in reasonable fear at that moment of ongoing imminent great bodily harm? And quite honestly, I don't think the tape shows it, even presuming the way a person looks, reacts, and interprets things when they're in the middle of a physical confrontation.
In other words, Mark, if we could Zapruder the tape, we have to stop right at that image where he's on the ground, the man who has shoved him is towering over him, and the question is, what's in his head, and is what's in his head a reasonable fear of imminent great bodily harm? Right there, boom, right there is the question, right?
That's absolutely correct. The only analysis I would add to it is we do need to look at it, as the statute requires, from Drejka's perspective, what he's going through. And I will tell you, there's things that he's going through that we don't see on the tape. You get thrown to the ground, you have a dump of adrenaline into your body. We know from cops telling us you get tunnel vision. You don't hear things the way, you don't interpret things the way. So sounding like a criminal defense attorney for a moment, Drejka is in a position where his perception of what's happening is also skewed because of what he's going through. But when you look at the tape, McLaughlin had backed away. There's a distance. He's not towering over him. And the idea of taking out the gun, pointing it, I'm almost okay with that. But the idea of center of mass shooting and killing a man over a push that is now ended, I don't see the justification.
Hey, Mark, I think Benjamin is right in saying that when the gun comes out, that the decedent appears to take a few steps back and probably a few seconds, maybe a split second, tick off the clock. Is it fair to say, oh, you were okay to pull the gun, but not to fire the trigger?
Yes, I think the answer to that is yes. And let's not forget that Florida a couple of years ago tried to pass what we called a warning shot.
He definitely, look at
statute.
that. By the way, he just backed up like 4 steps. I mean, if you watch it again, pardon my interruption, but we can all see this.
He absolutely did. And again, Florida tried to pass, almost did pass a warning shot statute that would have said you're allowed to take out the gun, you're even allowed to shoot it, to let the person know I'm armed and I will use it. That's the theory behind it. But the idea with a 2, 3, 4 step backing up and a 2, 3, 4 second delay, I think that if you're going to exercise your Second Amendment rights, and we have them, we will always have them, that you have to do it responsibly. And here's the problem. Someone like Drejka, who used their weapon, in my opinion, unreasonably, really affects the rest of us in our ability to properly utilize our Second Amendment rights because he used it improperly.
That's
and
right.
now the focus is again on that.
Great observation.